There was a story with Napoleon Bonaparte. One time he had a two-front war. Two-front war means he had two enemies attacking him at the same time. And he thought he's going to handle it, he's going to win the war, but to his dismay he was losing. His enemies were intruding, his soldiers were being wiped out left and right, so he was on the run. He started running for his life. His enemies were looking for him. They were prepared to kill him. So he runs to a farm and he finds the farmer and he says, "Excuse me, but can you hide me? My enemies are coming. Can you maybe give me a place to hide?" He says, "Listen, there's a barn I have over there in the back. Go to the barn. There's a lot of haystack. Hide within the haystack. They're not going to find you there." So he says, "Okay, I promise you, if I come out of here alive, I will reward you handsomely." So the farmer says, "Okay, no problem." All of a sudden the enemies come running into the farm. They say, "It must be he's here. We know he's here. There's nowhere else he could have possibly run." They approach the farmer. They say, "Excuse me, but do you know of this man? We're looking for him. He's yay high. Napoleon, pretty short. We're looking for the guy. Do you know where he is?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen anything." "Listen, if we find him in your farm, not only are we going to kill him, but we're going to kill you with him." And yet he was a man of his word and he didn't reveal where Napoleon was hiding. So they started to besiege the entire farm. They went into the barn where Napoleon was hiding. They said, "Hey, maybe he's hiding somewhere in here." And they see this big haystack, a bunch of haystack. They're like, "Hey, maybe he's hiding within that haystack. We looked everywhere else. The last place we could check is within this haystack." So one of the soldiers had an idea. So they see a bunch of pitchforks over there, let's grab them, and start sticking them into the haystack. And they start sticking it from all the directions, and poor Napoleon is sitting in there quietly because he knows that if he makes one peep, one sound, they're going to drag him out of there, they're going to kill him, they're going to murder him. So he doesn't dare to make a sound. And finally, this goes on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they get tired, they're like, forget about it. If he's in there, he's dead by now. If he's not, he's probably running away. He's probably getting away. We will have to catch up and get him. So they leave. He sticks out his head, Napoleon. He sees the coast is clear. He runs back to France and he resumes his position on the throne. Exactly a year later, Napoleon remembers the farmer that saved his life. He sent him a letter and he said, "Please, I want you to come to my palace. I summon you to my throne room." The farmer came and Napoleon was so happy to see him. He said, "You saved my life. Ask me whatever you want, I will grant it to you. Whatever it is that your heart desires, just tell me what it is and I'll give it to you." So the farmer says, "Listen, I live a very simple life. There's not much I could ask for. I have a wife, I have my farm, I have my kids. But there is one thing that bothers me. So tell me what bothers you, I'll take care of it for you." The thing that's bothering me is, remember when you hid in my farm? It's like, "Yeah." "Remember when you were hiding within all that haystack?" "Yeah." "How did it feel? When they were taking those pitchforks and they were sticking in it, did you feel like you're about to die?" Napoleon looks at him straight in the eyes and he says, "I gave you an opportunity to ask me for whatever you want, and instead you remind me of the most degrading moment of my life. Instead of rewarding you, I'm going to punish you." So they give him a consequence. They bring him to the courtyard. They put a noose around his neck and they're prepared to hang him. And Napoleon says, "We're going to count from 10 to 1. And once we hit 1 and we strike 1, we're going to kick the stool and we're going to hang him." And they go 10, 9, 8, and they had a public hanging. And everyone's watching this. He reminded him of the most degrading moment of his life. And they're going 5, 4, 3, 2, and just when they're about to hit 1, suddenly Napoleon screams, "Stop!" He approaches the farmer. He looks at him in the eyes and he says, "Remember when you asked me how it felt when I was under all that haystack?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, this is how I felt." Take the noose off of his neck. "You would have never understood what I went through unless you didn't go through yourself." And sometimes Hashem puts us in the situations that we are put in only because Hashem knows you're strong enough to handle it. And then you'll be able to help other people in that position. You'll be able to help other people in that situation. And people will say, "Listen, I don't know if I could handle it, but if you were able to go through this and somehow come out of it strong, and you were able to take on the challenge, so maybe then I could take it on also." And therefore, it'll give people hope. We're not living just for ourselves. Hashem gives us challenges so we could grow from them and help other people grow from them. And as a result, we're going to help the world become a better place.